Hey guys, today I'll show you my list what came 10th place at the Liverpool Regional. I changed the list last minute compared to a video I just put out, which it felt weird playing this list, but it was really strong. I made some major changes to the list. You'll see in a minute. It worked out really well. Pretty good run event. Went through rounds very quickly. Once one round finished, took about 2 minutes to get the next round up. So my matchups were round one was against Crusadia. I lost to Dyro. He set up Gamma Seal, Equinox from the Gates, and a Dawn Dragster. So I couldn't. If Gamma Seal was once per turn or even once per chain, it'll be fine because I can deal with that. I can't deal with Gamma Seal just unlimiting the gates. Game 2, I do full combo. He can't do anything. Game 3, he ends on Gamma Seal again, and then I physically can't do anything. Round 2 is against Pure Shadow. I lose the Dyro. He makes me go first. I set up full board. He imperms my Nat Beast, uses a Law of Darkness and tries to go into a Shadow fusion, but he doesn't realise what Fossil Diner does. Round 3, and then game 2, he makes me go first again. Didn't expect it, so I sided out my Fossil Diner and all that. Turned into a bit of a grind game, but still ended up on top. So I was a 2-0. Round 3 was against Pure Mech Knights. Round 1, he makes me go first. Because he wins the Dyro. I end on full combo +1, so I have the Nat Beast, Dingisu, Dawn Dragster, Apple's on 3, and the Fossil Diner. He tries to Kaiju, but can't under Fossil Diner. Game 2, he sets one's past. Make Phoenix pop it, make Sword. Someone wants to just attack the game. So that was a 2-0 as well. Round 4 was against my teammates, Lewis, playing Subterra. I win the Dyro, so I go first. And on full combo. And then he sets 2 back row pass. So I just attack over, and the monster was an Ash, so he drew out for turn, which was very sad. And then round 2, game 2, he goes first. He sets a monster and a back row and passes. I use a card in my side deck. I'll get onto that in a minute. Use Unicorn, shuffle back his set monster, Phoenix pop his back row, then just set up like I go into a Saiyuja because I feel a bit risky, but he ogres it. So I draw into a Gallus and a Snake, and off the Gallus I mill a spell. So I just pass her. He sets one back row pass. I use Snake, summon it, get a Edge Saber from Grave, make Levier, and just start bringing back one monster at a time, and just start beating him down with that. Next turn, he sets another back row pass, summon another guy back. Realise that it was both there can be ones, which doesn't hurt this deck hardly any, especially in a simplified game set like that. So I win that one 2-0. Round 5, I lose a Dyro against Hero. He bricks game 1, so he sets one pass, which was a cool buy, which I baited out with Phoenix. Made Broadsword, summoned Block Dragon attack for game. Game 2, he bricks again, and he goes first, so he sets 2 this time and passes. I make Unicorn, shuffle 1 back, and then on resolution for Unicorn, uses the other back row on a cool buy of the grave for Block Dragon. He didn't realise that Block Dragon was a condition, not a effect to summon. So I summon that, banish a Rex, bring it back, make Broadsword, summon Hydralander, make Broadsword just attack the game. So I was a 2-0 again. Round 6 against True King Dino. To be honest with you, I thought it was just Lost World Dino, so game 1 it was just pure Dino, didn't see anything from the True King side of it. Sets up Dolka plus Pankratops, and my hand can play through it, it's just very awkward. Before he made Dolka on his turn, I summoned a Gizmek. so I can try and push through a little bit better. So what I should have done is I had a Appaloosa, Dante, and a O-line token on my field. What I should have done is made Phoenix under the Appaloosa to pop his Lost World, discard a Seer in hand, and draw a card. And that means that my 2 guys can't reach a battle, which doesn't come up much, but it means that I can survive another turn, gets rid of his field spell, which means that he can't chain block his Overraptor, which killed me. So that's a misplay from my part. Game 2, since I just saw Lost World, I made him go first and sided in some side deck cards. And the game just, he trished me, he lethal seconded me, and then summoned VFD plus UCT. Didn't expect that. So what happened is, it's a bit, not the nicest card in the world, but I drew into this, and I sat on that for like 10 turns, expecting maybe an every out. But when I completely forgot that diagram just gets rid of his monsters for free. What I should have done is started playing underneath my own line when he had 2 monsters. Because he couldn't use VFD, so I'll probably just summon things like try and get Hydra alive, pop his field spell, and then just start attacking or just popping his stuff, which should have happened, but that game was just, it was all me. I just fluked it. Yeah, so I lost that one 2-0. Round 7, the last round of the day, was against Spiral. Now, this one I win the dice roll. Game 1 end on full board, he can't do anything. Oh no, I don't. Game 1, I have a very awkward hand, and my mills are absolutely crap. So I end on Hydrander, Fossadina, and Sayuja. But I put with Avarice during that turn, so I only have 1 monster in grave, so Hydrander isn't live yet. He normal summons Super Agent, attacks over my Fossadina. When he special souls, send Master Plan, does his combo. So on the summon of Master Plan, I use a Hydrander effect and I mill a Farther. So I proceed to pop his Super Agent and then banish his Master Plan. From there, he just makes, he hits Well of Dangers, and then he ends on Appaloosa on 3, Griffin, Sleeper, and then Link Reaver with a big red set. And then I just slowly pick apart his board using Block Dragon and Gizmek, Phoenix, just everything. Just picking out one at a time, bait out of his Sleeper. I get all 3 negates baited out by an Appaloosa. I make Broadsword, summon Dingisu, send the Link Rebel, and because he were outvowed, he was on 6k. So I just attack into the Griffin and I attacked into Appaloosa, and that was game. Game 2, he goes first, he ends on full board, and I open up Block Dragon, Gigantes, Pot of Avarice, Tekkentomborg, and then I draw into, no, not Tekkentomborg, Sea Archiver, and then I draw into a O-line. So I couldn't do anything against full Spiral board. Then, by the time Game 2 ended, there was 5 minutes left on time. You can probably see where this is going. I start my turn. There's like 2 minutes left after siding. Sided in Barber. I open up Tour Guide plus an extender, so sent Barber, just continue my combo, and then time was scored and I won. It feels a bit scummy, but you have to do it. That's why this deck's one of the best ones to play in time, because you have things like Barbar, Gallus, and if you want to, you can even side in a Cowboy, because you can make rank 4s pretty easily depending on your build. So that's my tournament report. It was very well run. Games went very quickly, and it was a pretty good day overall. Sadly, just missing out on top 8 due to tiebreakers, but it happens. So let's go into the main deck first. So we have the 2 Tour Guide, now at 2. I like this. I prefer 3 Second over 2 Tour Guide, but this is a 1.5 card Cherubini Dante, because you go for the Rhino, Rhino then sends Graf, Graf then summons Seer, and then you can use Cherubini to send Agent Sabers to then get any card in your hand to the top of your deck and then make you Dante. So this is basically a 1 card Cherubini Dante. Worked out really well, drew it a lot more this time, which is very nice. Then we still play with 3 Mathman. In my decks, I like to have between around about 5 to 6 normal summons. It seems a little bit heavier for a 40 card deck, but I rather have 2 normal summons in hand than have no normal summons in hand, if it makes sense. Send Oline, makes 1 card Cherubini, it's very nice. So, Mathman is basically a Tour Guide, but you need the extender with Mathman. It worked out well. You can also send things like Globe Bulb and Giant Rex if you need them. If you already have your Cherubini Dante and then you normal summon this later on in the combo, that works. Then my last starter, we got a Terratop, and then of course a Terratumborg. This is a very nice little package. Makes your Cherubini for free. If you draw your Terratumborg, it's fine, because if you send a line off of a Mathematician, the token summoned from a line is a wind token, so you can summon this onto that, which is your 2 level 3s. Or if you draw into this with Sayuja, you can keep this in hand if you know you're going to Appaloosa, because Appaloosa is also a wind, so you can summon this and then make your Levier very easily. So that's my starters. Then we go to some of the worst cards in the deck, but some of my favourite. For Burning Abyss monsters. So we have Graf, Seer, Farfa, Lubbock, and the honorary BA Phoenix Rhino Warrior. Rhino's in there just because it's an Earth and it can send any of these. Graf summons your Seer from deck, Seer and summons back your Dante, Farfa for interruption, and for problematic threats. So if I was going against like Vanity's Fiend, and I have a Mathman in hand, I can go normal summon Mathman, send Farfa, banish it, and then I can play. That's the only reason I've really kept the Farfa in, because I can't really play under things like Necros without the Farfa. And the Libic, if you open like your Seer or your Graf, you can also summon off Edge of Sabers off of this, which not many people know. You can also summon Tour Guide if you already use a normal summon and you mill this off of Dante. It's an extender. And for the best extender in the deck, we've got Gallus. So the second select went to 2. Oh, it went to 1. Sorry. This goes through a lot more, but I'd rather still 3 seconds light and have a slightly more chance to hit it. This is BA in a nutshell. It's Earth. It does burn damage. It's a level 3. It's a beast, so you can make curious with it. It's everything you need and more. So if you're playing BA, you need to play this, unless you're playing a heavier spell variant like Tommy Rose's list recently. Then we go on to the 2 Snake, 2 Jackalope. No Nessie and no Mothman this time, because they're not level 3s. I just wanted to try and turbo out as many rank 3s as possible and try and get as many level 3 extenders as possible in this deck without going over 40 cards. These sort out of your hand. They is a upstart goblin plus a monster. You want all your stuff engraved anyway, so might as well play these. You can play Nessie and the Mothman if you feel like your hands are bricking a little bit more. It just helps cycle through your hands, and it's better overall, but I'm just not a big fan of it at the moment in time. You can play the 3 extenders, such as Psychics. These say if you control level 3, you can special summon from your hand in defense position. There's 3 extenders. If you summon your Cherubini or your Dante, your Seer under your Cherubini, you can special this, and then that's your Dante made. On a combo, if you draw both of these, you bring back like Edge of Sabers, special. It's a really nice set. And in simplified game states, where you got like a Cherubini and you just have to do as much damage as possible, and you got like a Dante. You can mill through Dante to make it 2-5, and then Cherubini you can send Tracker onto a Dante, so now it's a 4-1 Dante, so it helps in them situations just to beef up your Burning Abyss monsters. Then the last 2 level 3 extenders, we got the Agent Sabers and the Archiver. The Archiver is really strong. You can also use it to protect yourself because it says when a monster is summoned to a link monster zone that it points to. It doesn't say your monster or if you summon. So there's been many times where during my opponent's last summon, I would summon this, and then that means I can make it like a Dante, and then use it again that turn, on my turn. Or I can just summon this, and then it's a 2-1 defense wall, where sometimes that will just save you. It's very niche, but it comes up. And then Sabers is very nice. You can send it off a Rhino, you can send it off Cherubini, you can put things like Orion to the top of your deck, or Bulb to the top of your deck, to mill off your Dante, or your Gallus. It's an all-round solid card. Wouldn't cut them really, unless there's better level 3 choices coming out. So now on to our level 8s, we've got 2 Hydrolander, a Gizmek. Many people have been cutting Hydrolander, and I don't know why. It's very solid. I can see why in the sense of it can brick hands sometimes, which did come up once or twice, but the plus you get off of Hydrolander is so strong where, to me, it's a sin not to play it, in at least the Block Dragon variant. It's 3k, it has a quick effect pop by milling 3 cards, basically. 90% of the time it will go through. If it doesn't, oh well, it happens. This deck's basically RNG. It's also a Dark Machine for Curious. It's a level 8, so you can make Dingirsu with it to protect your whole board. And that's the reason why I play it. It's a 3/3, and it's level 8, and it summons for free, so there's no point not to play it. And then the Gizmek, it saves you a lot. In simplified game states, it will win you the game most of the time. It's also a level 8 Dark Machine, so you can make Curious with it, you can make Dingirsu with it, and you can do it, summon it on your opponent's turn, and then proceed to pop a card on their field. And they have to deal with it during the standby phase, because if not, I'm just going to pop whatever monster they don't want me to during my main phase. So that's really nice. Very solid all around. Then we got into the Block Dragon package. We got the 3 Block Dragon, the 3 Gigantes, and the Foster Diner. Recently I tried cutting this down to 2. When I done that, I saw this so much less, and it hurt me a lot during testing. You can play 2, it's just I'd rather send more versatile cards off of Curious instead of prioritising this off my Curious send. I mean, I'm still playing with 3 Gigantes and 1 Foster Diner. If you play Rock Spirit, I don't see that being incorrect. 2 and 2 for Rock Spirit and Gigantes is fine. I recently just stopped playing with Rock Spirit because the positive what came out of it just wasn't enough for this to be live nightly. It means that this is live like another 10% of the time to search, and it means that you can make Saiyuja a lot easier and Appaloosa a lot easier because they require monsters with different names. So if you use search these 2, that if you already got your Foster Diner, you can't make Saiyuja or Appaloosa with using these 2. But if you go with Rock Spirit, you can go summon 1, summon Gigantes, and then that's fine. But I prefer the Gigantes due to the Heavy Storm effect, which does come up a lot in, not anymore as much, but against that Draco, you can attack into their monster. If they don't read the card, then they're stupid. If it starts with battle, it's a Heavy Storm, and it's just very strong. It will win you a lot of games just because of the Heavy Storm effect against things like Subterra if they just need to attack into something and they don't read cards. That also comes up. Basically anything which is back row heavy, if you summon this into defense and they have to attack into it, it's game. Like, if you remove 2 to 5 back row, it is so worth just sacrificing that one card. So we're going into the extra extenders, or extenders slash power cards. So we've got with Rex. It's a free special summon when you banish it with either Block Dragon or a Gigantes. It's an Earth Dinosaur. You can make Curious with it quite easily. Not much else. You can also make Nappies with it. We've got the power card of Lethal Sagan, the Disaster. This came up once today or twice. Yeah, I'm going to say twice. Well, I could have summoned it. I did summon it once though. Summoned it against Hero, took away the Dark Claw. Link 3 and 8 years old. It didn't mean much because he bricked very hard. But this was very strong. I'll have interaction where you can just destroy your stuff from hand. So if you've got Dragon and like a Fossil Dino in hand, you can destroy them in hand and then proceed to use them in the grave because you don't really care too much about them. Or if you're extra extenders on field, you can just destroy them. Like if you've got a Gallus and a Gigantes on field and you just need to, like, you don't need them on field, so like they can be used as link fodder. You can also use them to summon this, which is very strong. It's also an Earthworm, so you can make cures of it. So now we go into the tuners. We got the Gullet Bulb, the Orion, and we got the Destrudo. The Bulb is kind of mandatory in this variant of the deck. It makes you that beast. It's a Earth plant, summon off of Saija. It means you get 2 uses out of it. You can also make cures of it because nothing else in this deck is a plant. And it's just a solid card overall. It mills a card when it's summoned from grave. Yeah, it's a good card. Really don't want to get banned though. If it gets banned, that means you have to take that beast out of this deck, and then those are sitting for this deck a lot. Got the Lion, you send it off of Mathman, get a level 3 token, or you can, if you mill it off of Dante, you also get it, so it doesn't matter if it's for effect or for cost. You can also use it to chain block things, like if you detach a graph off of Dante and you mill this, you can go chain con graph chain to your line to then make sure that it doesn't get ashed, which is very nice. You can also, like I said, off a token you can summon the Takatomborg. So it's decent all round. And then the Strudo, I recently put this in because I keep on dying to Evenly and Impermanence. But because I make summon this onto any monster and then make a Dawn Dragster, that saves me a lot of the time because they have that one Evenly to break my board, and then they have some things to do. Like they'll summon a few monsters and make a board in main phase 2. Now that I got this, they can't. They need to bait out the Dawn Dragster, but if I got that beast, they can't really use spells. If I got Appaloosa, they can't really just pop it using monster effects. So the only time when they can bait this out is say impermanence it and then evenly match me. And if you have both of them, then I can't really do much. It's just out of my control at that point. If I got that, they got it. Then 2 spells, we've got the 1 Avarice and 1 Cycle's Light. Some people might say that they conflict, like I said in my last video. They do and they don't. If you see one, use the other. If you see this one, don't use that one. The best time is when you use this and you mill this, where you can use both the cards in one game, because the Cycle's Light banish effect doesn't matter on restrictions. It's just when it's engraved, you can banish it to mulligan your hand. Mulligan a card. Apologies. Avarice came up a few times today. It was really strong. Cycle's Light also came up. Very nice. Wouldn't really change them. I think to play card destruction and stuff like that, but the Avarice and the Cycle's Light feel very strong at the moment. So that's my 40 card deck. Going on to the extra deck now. We've got the 1 Dante, 1 Levier, and 1 Ningirsu. You might notice that the Beatrice is gone. You don't play it anymore unless you play the Maya Sokius package. I used to like it just because if I had a bad hand, I could end on things like Appaloosa on 3 and then a Beatrice to send stuff for my next turn, or to send a Farther for interruption. But this is all you need, really. Now you can play a Dweller as well, but I'm not a big fan of Dweller at the moment. If I was playing a slightly more level 4 heavy build, like with 4 mages like the Hat Tricker and Trick Clown, I probably would play it just because Dweller is very strong in this format. It's just I'm not a big fan of it at the moment. So look, Dante, multi cards, Heart and Sober deck. Every year brings back your Foster Down when it's banished, or just gives you an extra extender from your banished. And then Ningirsu protects your whole field, and if you go in second, overlay 2 block dragons, send a card, and then it protects your whole field again. It's a very strong card. So now going to the Link 2s, we've got the Cherubini, IP Masquerade, and the Phoenix. I recently cut the Cerberus because I was only using it for the Earth target, which did come up a few times in the tournament where I needed that Link to Earth, but it didn't hurt that much. Cherubini is key to the combo IP. You can cut it if you want, but I like it because you can summon it under the Cherubini. Dante, bring back a burn base you haven't used the effect of, summon it to Cherubini zone, and then make Curious that way because Cherubini's a fairy, that's a Cyberus, and then the BAs are fiends, which are very nice. Phoenix came up a lot today actually. When my opponent sets like 1 or 2 cards, I'll just make Unicorn, make Phoenix, shuffle one back, pop the other one, get a draw out of it. I tried cutting this at one point, but it was the worst mistake of my life. Every time I cut this, I play against things like Imperial Iron Wall, and just other floodgates which really hurt. At Summon Limit, I can't play through Summon Limit with this deck. That's why I hate Subterra. It's just one of the worst matchups, other than Geist. So that's my Link 2s. To my Link 3s, we got a Unicorn, a Trisbania, and Curious. Unicorn's very good at breaking boards. Also drew 2 off of it at one point. Topologic Trisbania, very good in theory, but for this event there was a lot of rogue, so it didn't come up as much. And it also partners up really well with a card in my side deck, which I'll show you when I get around to it. And Curious, you kind of have to play it. It sends any card you want from your deck to grave, and is a very solid card. Then to the Link 4s, we've got 4 of them. We've got a Sayuja, we've got an Appaloosa, we've got an Avamax, and we've got a Ball Sword. Sayuja's key. Well, basically every game I have enough extenders, I will go into Sayuja just to sort out my hand. Appaloosa, it's your end piece, it's very strong. Having 3 to 4 monsters in the gates is just sometimes game. Back up with a Foster Diner and maybe a Dingirsu, and some decks just physically can't play through it. Avamax, I like it. I didn't summon it too much today. It's a good card, but for the regional we just had with the amount of rogue, it didn't come up too much where I wanted to summon it, because I either won very quickly or it turned into a grind where the Appaloosa would be better just to slowly whittle down my opponent's resources. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't cut Avamax. It's a very strong card. Can also just, some decks can't even play through the Avamax. Just like if you summon it with IP, Simon Grey has a very tough time playing through it unless they have a bull load in their extra deck, which I find very funny. And in the Ball Sword, you can't really say anything about Ball Sword. It's just a game ender. You need to play it in this deck because this is just Ball Sword deck. Then into the Synchros, we play with Dawn Dragster, and we're playing that beast. Dawn Dragster has been put in there recently just to stop the trap cards, which I hate, and that beast is kind of mandatory in this deck. Play the Bulb, you play the beast. So no spells, negate for a trap, solid enough. So that was my extra deck. So that was 3 XCs, 2 Synchros, and 10 Links. So now going into the side deck. My side deck is a bit unorthodox, but I'll explain my reasoning behind everything. So I'll play 3 Dark Arm Dragon. Now some people might be confused about this, but There's a spell card in my side deck which people should know about. This was decided against the control matchups like Geist, Guru, everything like that, because if you summon Dark Armed underneath Cherubini, there's very little way to out the Dark Armed, and you just banish all the Darks in your grave to just blow up their whole field, which is so strong. I would even just mill one off for Dante if that means I can make sure that this is live. I didn't summon it at all today. I wish I did, so I can actually get some feedback on how it worked or how it done. But I will still play this until I find a better side deck card. But you can't ignore Dad. It is such a strong card, especially since it came back to 3. I played one of Pankratops. I played it because Control is my worst matchup. I summoned it once, I believe. No, twice. I summoned it twice. Once against Crusadia, but they had the Gamma Seal, so it didn't matter. And then once against Shadow, where it didn't really matter there either. It's just a beater and it pops a card. Yeah, fair enough. I don't like it at 3, but when it's at 1, I would actually play it like I did today, because I feel it's very strong, this format. But it didn't really come up too much today. Now the mistake I made today is I played 3D Decro because I thought Spiral was going to be everywhere. There's only like 5 Spiral players there. This should have been Sphere Mode, but I changed my mind at the last minute. I was writing Sphere Modes down in my deck list, and then I crossed out and put DD Chrome because I thought it will come up a lot more, but it didn't. If this was Sphere Mode, I think I would have at least went X1. It's that sort of strength of Sphere Mode in this format. For my last monster, we got the Barbar. You kind of have to side it. Game 3, it wins you games in time. It's a bit scummy, but you have to do it. Then a very strong card, which I didn't really think of before, is I played 3 Mystic Mine in my side deck. Because when you see the amount of back row I play, everyone sides out their Cosmic Cyclones, Twin Twisters, everything like that. So this will win you games just because your opponent has sided out all the back row. And then game 3, it puts them into mind games because you have to think if I'm going to keep the Mystic Mine in or I'm going to take it out. So they have to think, do they have an out to it if they take out their back row removal, that main deck? And they don't. But then if I take this out, that means that they're dead cards in hand. So it helps a lot. Played it against True King Dino. It was working for about 12 turns, but he found an out. So I feel in a heavier meta event, and that will be a lot stronger, but for this one it didn't. Play 1 Red Reboot, very strong card. It's at 1, but you have to play it. And now probably one of the coolest cards in my side deck, which I wish I used more today, on the event, was Anti-Magic Arrows. So for whoever doesn't know what this card does, at the start of a battle phase, you can activate this card. For the rest of this turn, spells, traps, and so the activations and the effects cannot be used. So you can't activate trap cards, can't activate spell cards, and this card cannot be responded to. So the idea of this was go against Altergeist with that 4 back row and a Link Rebo. There you go. Enter battle phase. Since you're a turn player, the only time you get to response is before you end the main phase. So in battle phase, you just drop this. So now all the back row is locked off. That means you can't summon the Multi-Faker because you can't activate a trap. Then you go main phase 2. You then make Trisbania. Summon to his own points 2. Banish all the back row. And then make a Appaloosa plus, I don't know, Dingirsu. And then that will win you the game, as well as do a significant amount of burn damage. That was the idea with the magic arrows, but because of how much rogue was in the format, or at least in this regional, it didn't come up much. I played against one back row deck, and one time I sided with him, he set one back row, so I used it because I wanted to. I still won, but it didn't really matter too much. So yeah, that was my list. I came 10th place, just missing out due to tiebreakers, sadly. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was a very fun event. I love this deck so much. Dante will never die. I feel this will be one of the strongest decks coming into the next format, or into the format we're going to, with the Spiral and Hero. Spiral, Hero, Altergeist, all the them decks. You can make this deck beat Altergeist eventually. I haven't found out a way to do that yet, unless I'm playing Cyberstein. But I will get there. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll do some test hands over the next week or so if you guys want. So let me know how you think of this list, and give me a shout if you need any help with your list. I'm happy to give any assistance where I can. So I'll see you guys in the next one.